Have you seen that Call Her Daddy podcast with Chappell Roan? I was watching it. I felt so seen, so heard by Chappell. And then what do I see? The next day, everyone's trying to cancel for it. Well, I want to invite you into this Therapist Reacts video on Chappell Roan's Moms Are in Hell statement. And I want to say, she's right. Moms are in hell. As someone who's a mom, queer, and a therapist, I felt that deep in my body. Moms are in hell, and we need to stop pretending that we're not. So if you're here for martyrdom culture, perfectionism, invisible labor, the mental load of trying to keep everybody alive and well and taken care of as a mom, this is your validation moment. You're not failing at motherhood. Motherhood is failing you. All right, take it away, Chappell. Let's see what she has to say about it.
Are you still close with your friends from back home?
Yeah, I am. They're really awesome. We have such different lives. They are, a lot of them are married with children, and like they have their own houses, and to me, I'm like,
okay, let me just say, can you imagine if Chappell Roan was your best friend? I would be seriously having some like best friend envy if she was like traveling the world. Obviously, being famous kind of sucks. So definitely kind of hate that for her. And I think she actually did a great job in this interview talking about how limiting fame can be. I queued up this clip to the point where she's talking about motherhood, but right before this, there was an annoying like tequila ad in the middle. So I just like fast forwarded through that. But just to say, she starts off by saying, I don't even know if I can marry my love like in the future. And so I thought that that is just something so huge that LGBTQ folks have to deal with, especially under the current times. Like, will their rights be taken away? Will they even be able to get married? And so I do think a lot of people were jumping her shit over, oh, she's discouraging people from being a mom. I don't think that was her intention. When she's talking about her lived experience that she's very much been asked in this question, I think this whole fame thing of like, we need pop stars to tell us who to vote for, how to live, and whatever. Like, can we just enjoy the music? Can we not? I know the personal is political. Okay, I can totally understand that. But can we just have some pleasure for pleasure's sake? Come on, y'all. We need a little guilty pleasure here. But anyway, just to say, Chappell, if you need a new best friend or therapist or whatever, hit me up.
I don't know when that's gonna happen for me. Like, I don't know when that is realistic, if ever. So
Do you want that?
Like, get married and
Yeah.
I don't know. I like, part of me is like, is it even gonna be legal to marry like my wife one day? I don't know.
Okay, so actually, I guess I didn't cut out that clip, which is great because I just think that that's a super important point. I do think that when you're an outsider, you can see things so much clearer. And I think so many women get fed this cult of domesticity of like, buy a house, get married, have kids, and then you'll be like satisfied. And I think this was why this was such a big hit piece, is that like, that's a lie. I mean, that's one pathway to satisfaction, but that's not the pathway. Now, I will say, here's my mom caveat. I love my kids. I love my husband. It's great. Okay, it's like we have to say that to be able to talk about these things. It's not about them. I'm not talking about them specifically. I'm talking about the roles of wife and mom and how those can be particularly limiting. And, I think it's interesting to see people outside of it commenting on the dysfunction of it, because I think those of us that are programmed into that heterosexist norm, we just drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak, of it without, maybe some of us question it, but some of us do not. And so I think when we subscribe to the dominant beliefs, sometimes there's this wake up moment where we wake up and we're like, is this limiting? Is this what I have everything I want, but I thought that would feel better. Let's see what Chappell has to say.
All of my friends who have kids are in hell.
Okay. We'll just stop right there. Okay, I literally just said this to a mom client of mine. She had that like look that most moms do where you haven't gotten any sleep. You've got this baby hanging off your boob. You're trying to keep it alive. You've got so much anxiety of like, is everything going to be okay? There's so much pressure on you. Hold on, my spotlight turned off. There we go. That you get this sort of like dead eyes stare. I remember when my gynecologist said to me that you got that look. Do you want some antidepressants? And I remember thinking like, antidepressants? That's not what I want. I want sleep. I want to be held. I want alone time. Okay, so I'm not just here to harp on, a little expose piece. Like you could see a million of those on YouTube. I'm going to offer you some real, like, get out of hell strategies for myself as a mom and a therapist and as someone who's helped many women cast off the oppressive parts of being a mom and a wife.
I don't know anyone. I actually don't know anyone who's like happy and has children at this age. I have like a 1-year-old, like 3-year-old, 4 and under, 5 and under. I literally have not met anyone who's happy.
Okay, so I do think like 0 to 5 is one of the hardest phases of motherhood. I remember for me when my daughter turned 1 being like, oh my God, we did it. We kept her alive. It's amazing. Like we made it through the first year. It was such a triumph. From 3 to 5, they get a little more independent. You can get a little bit more functional, but you are in deep with the 0 to 5. It's no surprise to me that this is also a huge time for divorce because motherhood can be all encompassing. It can be so blinding to go from like a full person and a sexual being into this like milk factory, make lunches, take them to preschool or school. I was just on a call earlier and I was just talking about like, I have to drop my daughter off at school every day and I have to pick her up. I have to be there at those 2 times every day, 5 days a week. It's just, there's a certain level of being trapped, especially when we compare to like rock star touring, blowing up overnight, being in drag, being in sequins and wigs and at the Grammys and all the things like, I mean, I'm sure that her friends are talking about her in their therapy sessions, let's just say, okay?
Anyone who has like light in their eyes, anyone who has slept.
These are not looking too good.
I'm like, why?
Okay, so I think the light in the eyes thing is super important. I do feel like you can see that like wall-eyed stare when someone's checked out, when they're in a deficit, when they're just like bone dry, like a plant that's all shriveled up in its little container. It gets really like, root bound. Moms are like that. We're thirsty, we're hungry, and yet we're like feeding and drinking people all the time. But are we taking care of ourselves? And I think the light in the eye, that's something you can't control. I was literally saying that I feel like the light's back in my eyes. Now, I gotta say, as a tween mom, I feel like I've just recently exited hell. And I am also even kind of mourning. There is a closeness that comes from motherhood and having a baby and having someone so cuddly. It's like the best feeling, but it's also easy to get touched out. It's easy to like suppress your sexuality, your needs, your wants, your desires. And so that's where the light fades, right? And I know Chappell got a lot of heat here because I think people start with like, oh, she's telling people not to have kids. Well, I can see why like Gen Z or my daughter's generation, Gen Alpha, like maybe they're not going to want to buy kids. Maybe they're not going to buy kids. I was going to say buy houses. Kids are expensive, so maybe that makes sense too. But, they may not be able to do that script that I adhere to, right? And so I think it's okay to want different things. And I think that that's something that the queer lens gives us, is that we don't have to follow like the heterosexist narrative. And I think you can, it's interesting being a queer mom because being married and married to a man and having a kid, it's like very invisible unless I being in a monogamous relationship, it's invisible unless I put it forward. And so there's sort of a privilege in that, but it's also like, that's a part of me. How do I find that realization, right? And so I think Chappell is really speaking to like, it's okay to want different things. It's okay to want to focus on your career. It's okay to like not want to get married. It's okay to like be a childless cat lady. You know, I have 4 cats, okay? Love cats. Just saying. It is fine to listen to your true heart's desires and not just go off the programming. Now, again, I think I would have been incomplete without being a mom. So even though I'm sort of ranting for the moms are in hell stance, I am fully in it too. I do very much love being a mom. And I feel like if I hadn't, I don't think that has to be for everyone, but for me personally, I think I would have felt a void if I had not experienced that. But is that just predictive programming? You know, I don't know. But for me, it was, again, mom disclaimer here. It has been one of the most beautiful experiences. And just like life, there's a dialectic, right? It's been a beautiful, incredible experience, and it's been hard. I've felt the light go out of my eyes. I've had that dull glaze. And so many of you moms out there, I know because I work with you, I've got a whole YouTube channel on how anxious moms can find pleasure. So come check it out.
I'm the oldest of 4. My mom had me at 23.
Wait, when you're saying that about your friends though, like, do they think this is all wild, that like how famous you are and like all of it when they see articles about you?
Okay. Alex Cooper, not my favorite. How is this bitch have a successful podcast? Okay, as a podcaster myself and as an overachiever, oh, okay. Non-judgment, Megan. Non-judgment. Okay. Missed opportunity there, girl. You missed that one.
Are they like calling you up and be like, Kaylee, what the fuck? Or are they just like, this is your life, bitch, like text us when you want to come over?
I think
this is your life, bitch.
they're just like, they're mothers. Like, they're fucking busy and they have jobs. And
mothers are fucking busy. Preach, Chappell. Thank you. Thank you. The invisible labor piece, we'll get into it in a little bit with the survival tips, but yes. Yes. Chappell, your lyrics are so fucking good. And you're going to validate my unseen labor as a mom.
and lives. Yeah. Like, I am just their friend. You know what I mean? Like, they are so sweet and so supportive and come out to shows, and like they have to get fucking babysitters to come to my shows. And like, I don't ever.
Okay, that is one of my tips. I'll give you a little preview. I will say one thing that has kept my sanity as a wife, as a mom, thank God for grandparents, because they have helped me have like balance, and I get to go to shows and I get a once a week date. And I think if I had not gotten that, I don't think I would still be married. So just to say, no, I want to see me front row at a Chappell concert, but that's on the vision board.
Like, when I go home, I love reminiscing about like destroying public property with them and like doing some illegal shit.
How do I miss doing the illegal shit?
Dating the same bitches for 15 years. Like, we just can't get over stuff. I will never get over.
It's nice though.
Okay, so they go on to like talk about hating bitches. So I think we'll cut it there as far as the actual clip goes. But maybe you're like me, and you know, I see a lot of people be like, happy mom here. Like, why would you say that? God, I'm offended. But I'm like, if you're really happy, here's the thing. When people get offended on the internet, we're not talking about you. Okay. So, okay. If you're really a happy mom, I don't think you're going to spend the time to, you know, make a comment on the internet, just saying, but whatever, to each his own. But I think it's really about, it's about something deeper. So I think, you know, God, it's amazing that anyone can say anything about anything on the internet. I gotta say, to be real, is it's just such a intense vibe. Because the threat of like hate or being canceled is such a thing that I think it's watered down the rhetoric. And that's why I love Chappell Roan. I'm wondering if she's an 8 on the Enneagram, because she is an unapologetic truth teller. And I can tell, as someone who's married to an 8, she's just got that truth bomb. Like, I'm going to say it whether you like it or not. And I gotta say, as someone who's a chameleon 3, it's really easy to like shapeshift yourself into, like this perceived best version of yourself. And I think that's why everybody loves Chappell, is that she's not taking shit from anyone, okay? Especially the moms out there, right? But this channel is all about anxious moms. So I didn't want to leave you with moms are in hell. Like, that's it. Because that's not super helpful. I want to just talk about the exhaustion level and what are some survival tips for a mom to get a mom straight out of hell, right? And so here we go. Okay. Tip number 1 is da, 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 get a maid. Okay. Having a maid has been one of the most biggest self-care things I've ever done, ever. Okay. And it's funny, in couples counseling, people would be fighting about like, he won't do the dishes. And I'm like, for what you're paying me, you could like pay someone to do the dishes, right? At times I had a maid that would come while I was gone. And when I would come home and the house was like pristine, it was like the biggest self-care thing ever. Now I'm like at home when the maids come, but they are amazing. Okay. So the exhaustion factor with moms is real. And it's not that you're lazy. It's just that we need to outsource your labor, okay? We need to buy our time back. And having someone clean your house can be so huge, because we all know with babies and toddlers, it's impossible to do anything, especially clean. And so I remember my daughter would draw all over the walls. Like, it was like we had a nice house, but living with a toddler, like, they just wreck the place, right? And so having someone come put it back together so that you just like have to do dishes and laundry, you and your partner, right? Someone's helping you, that other parent in the room, right? Fingers crossed, y'all. Okay. Number 2 is that it takes a village. Okay. We've heard this. This is a parenting cliche, but it is so true. It takes a village to raise children. And I think that that's something that we've really become detached from, is community and connection, especially after the COVID year. So if you don't have a village, then I'm inviting you to build one. Let's get on group chats, co-ops, mom groups. It's so important to have mom friends, especially moms that are a little bit ahead of you and that can kind of help you through the tough times, the developmental bursts, for better or for worse, the crazy stuff where you're like, is this normal? How do I handle this? That stuff, right? Now, I foreshadowed this one a little bit, but tip number 3 is weekly dates. Now, I get that this is a privilege, but literally for almost the past 20 years, I've been going on weekly dates with my partner. And that's like the only time we really get to have a deep conversation, to connect, to be romantic. And it's just so necessary. And I see so many parents who like have not been away from their kids for like years. And I'm like, how? Okay. How? Are you okay? Hey, are you okay? Like, how? How? I mean, like, how do you, how? Okay. So it cannot be said enough that whether it's a romantic, like, some of you might be single moms out there, hats off to all the single moms, but whether it's with your partner, your bestie, or yourself, that's also deserves its own tip. And we'll get to that in a minute. But book the babysitter, make it happen, call up grandma, do like a mom share. I've even seen single moms live together because they couldn't count on their men. And so they would sort of be a unit of 2 single moms raising kids together, which I think is kind of a beautiful paradigm as well. Okay, number 4 is therapy. Therapy, 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 couples therapy, individual therapy, family therapy. Super important, because carrying everyone's needs in your nervous system is unsustainable. Okay. Make you pull your hair out. Okay. Do not recommend. Okay. Therapy is super important, just to have a place to like spill it all, to be like, listen to what happened this week. Super necessary to have a place where you have a soft place to fall. Love it. So number 5 is mom's day out. Okay. So this is not an option. Mom needs a day out. We need to recharge. or we're going to rebel. Okay. So we really need to make that a priority. Alone time, self care time. A lot of churches do a mom's day out, which is like cheap, affordable daycare. It's usually like once or twice a week. Highly recommend. Oh, my light went off again. um, Super necessary. So I get as a mom, it can be really hard to lead your like little precious baby infant. I'm a trauma therapist. I understand all the fears of leaving your precious baby with other people, and it's an absolute must. Like, you need it. It has to happen. Okay. So we need to find safe individuals. We need that community support, that little village hug, right? We need some kind of mom's day out. So you can define what you're comfortable with. I often recommend the mommy time out, where it's like when your kids get to a certain age where they can be safely left alone, instead of giving them a timeout, like giving yourself the mom's timeout, where maybe you're like sitting in the bathroom, because that's usually where moms get their private time. Not always, because the kids bust in there too. But maybe you're like, you know, sitting on the toilet, drinking your coffee while it's warm. I don't know. The simple pleasures in life, right? Something where it's just like you can just have a minute to like breathe. Okay. As I mentioned a little earlier, overachiever here. Clearly, you don't get a PhD without being an overachiever. It's part of the damage, right? But let me just say, motherhood is not a performance. Like, mic drop there. Sit your ass down, okay? It's not a performance. You're not going to get a medal for it. You need to pace yourself. Those of us that are overachievers are living life like a sprint, where we're like busting it out, right? And I mean, literally when I'm filming this, it's like 9:48 in the morning, and I've already been up and at 'em for a couple of hours, taking my kid to school, getting dressed, doing lunches, getting ready for school, having team meetings, filming a YouTube video, like all the things, right? Probably a lot of y'all haven't done that before 10 o'clock, right? But why can I do all that? Because I have a lot of support, okay? But let me just say, as a mom, do not be an overachiever, man. The mom guilt is real. I have a whole YouTube channel based around mom guilt, because it is that deep. The guilt factor. That's the light in the eyes thing, okay? That's the not feeling like a human, is because we've got these superhuman expectations on us. So don't do it. Don't be an overachiever. I know it's hard. Just to double down on that one, number 7 is slow down. Okay, this is a great way to be mindful. Mindfulness is all about slowing down. It's also a great way to break through the overachiever vibes, is to really get to the point where we can just be in the moment, okay? Because motherhood is this weird, it's like they say the days are long, but the years are short. Oh, that choked me up, y'all. Okay, my tween mom face is coming out, but it goes by really fast, and babes don't keep, and if you're not present for it, then it'll just be gone very quickly. So do yourself a favor and just like hold that little baby, and don't give a shit what your house looks like, and just like be in the moment and just kind of enjoy it while it lasts, because babes don't keep. Okay, so urgency is a trauma response, and we need to set the pace, okay? And no matter how much you love your kids, they're going to copy what you do to you. So if you're self-neglecting, they're going to have self-esteem issues down the road. So we need our moms to be like whole, happy people, following this roadmap. One of Number 8 is my Oreo analogy, and someone said this to me, and kind of like the Chappell Roan quote, it just felt so fucking profound. And it was basically like trying to have a clean house with a toddler is like trying to eat Oreos while brushing your teeth. So what do you got? A bunch of Oreos. It's impossible. You can't brush your teeth while you're eating Oreos. It defeats the purpose. Well, how many of these are about clean houses? The struggle is real, y'all, moms. You know, you get me. Like, our surroundings affect our mental health, and if our house isn't clean, I mean, it's a good aspirational goal to have, but it's just like not freaking possible with a kid. I mean, it's like the beige moms. How do they get off with all these beige things? Like, it's like when people have white couches. Like, how the hell? I don't even wear white. I can't even wear a white shirt. I could never have a beige cat, a white couch, a beige, a white and a beige couch, a white couch. Never. Okay. So just let go. Just let go of the expectations. One of the things I tell my new moms is get ready to lower your expectations. And I know that sounds like a little bit of a Chappell-esque harsh truth bomb, but like literally that's one of my best advice, because like you can't function as a person. The mom brain is real. It's so you will orient on your baby, and it's just one of those things that like we just need to let go. Let go of expectations. Let go of judgments. Let go of the clean house myth, right? There's more to life than a clean house. Okay. Number 9 is sleep. I think I can speak to this one because my child did not sleep regularly for 5 years, 0 to 5, especially the first couple of years when I was nursing. Lack of sleep. I literally felt so out of it from interrupted and lack of sleep that I just was barely hanging on. So sleep is not selfish, it's medicine. We need you to get sleep. We need you, like, you know, a lot of times, especially if we're like in the infancy stage, a lot of the dads maybe are working. Sometimes moms are working too, but we're still expected to get up with the baby. I think another dynamic that's really hard is depending on whatever age it is, a lot of times the babies or kids want the mom. They don't want the dad. Well, why don't they want the dad? Partly probably because the mom is the primary caregiver. But I think that that doubles down on the lack of sleep, the heavy caretaking responsibilities, and it's just no good for anyone. I remember, this is a quick little story I tell. So I remember being like maybe 3 to 6 months in with my baby, and I was so sleep deprived that I think my husband brought me toast, but he brought me like a steak knife instead of like a regular knife. And so I was like, oh, I like can't. I was like, I need a regular knife, and I go to like hand it to him, and he goes to reach down at the same time, and I almost like accidentally stabbed him in the eye. Thankfully he wears glasses, but like had this moment, and I was like, oh, is this my buried mom rage? Like I can't. I'm like, I almost like blinded my husband. What the like, I need to get out. And so I ran away to Asheville and had a mom's day out. And then when I came back home, my husband was like, that was hard having the baby 24 hours. Wow, what have you been going through? So that's another tip for moms. Like if your husband is not as active as you would want him to be, or baby daddy, try leaving the baby with him. Give him the primary caregiver responsibility. He'll have a lot more empathy for you. And it's necessary. It takes a village, right? And then, you know what number 10 is going to be? It has to be pleasure and orgasms. Yes, you're allowed to feel good. Especially as a mom in the beginning stages, it's so easy to like want to turn your sexuality off, especially as might be breastfeeding, as you're being touched a lot. It's like you want that to be a really pure experience for your kids, but like the answer to that is not turning off your sexuality. It's really about learning that if mama's not happy, ain't nobody happy, okay? And orgasms, in whatever form they come, are a great stress reliever. They're great self-care, and it's just really important to like touch yourself, reclaim yourself. Get that? Maybe that's why the moms don't have the light in their eye. Okay. Okay. Well, I think that's a good note to end on here, but let's give you some closing wisdom. Let's bring it back to the heart. I gotta say, I love me some Chappell Roan. I've been wanting to do a therapist reacts video. I think I'm gonna do some of her songs. Tell me down below if you want me to do a certain song. I think I'm gonna do Good Luck, Babe, but there's so many good ones, right? But let me just say to you, you are not the problem. The system is, okay? But you are the medicine. Let yourself receive. Part of the problem with being a mom is we're giving, 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 and then we get like stuck in that overdrive of giving when we want to receive, okay? We want to receive attention and compliments and presence and love and pleasure, right? We want all the good things in life. So, comment below, which tip do you need the most right now? trying to think which one I need the most right now. Alone time, probably. Okay, next up, I'll be reacting to more cultural moments that expose the lie of perfect motherhood. So if you're an anxious mom, I've got you. I've got tons of strategy for therapy-esque healing stuff, pleasure stuff. I've got you. I want moms to feel good, and I want moms making money so that we can come together for world peace and harmony. When moms have power and money and we have the light in our eyes, that's the kind of world I want to live in. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're just getting into the pleasure thing, like, I'm a mom, I'm supposed to have pleasure. Like, that feels like, ooh, can I say the word pleasure? I've got the ebook for you. Go download it in my description. And if you want to bring back that glow, that little light in your eyes, go get my favorite course offering, Glow, which is all about feeling good, loving yourself, orgasmic living, and winning mindset. The key, to as Chappell said, getting that light back in your eyes. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.